Today we are going to talk about the product rule, which is objective 3.3. So we need to be able to find derivatives when we are multiplying two different expressions together. So the general formula for that is going to be the derivative of u times v is going to be u prime v plus v prime u. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the derivative of each of them and then we will multiply them together kind of in this formula. So when I look at this first example here, it says the derivative of x to the 8th times 2 to the x. So I'm going to think about this one as u and I'm going to think about that one as v. So u is equal to x to the 8th and v is equal to 2 to the x. And so now I need to find what u prime is and what v prime is. So if u is equal to x to the 8th, then u prime is going to be equal to 8x to the 7th, just using our power rule, and then v prime is going to be equal to, using our rules, 2 to the x times ln of 2. All right, and so our rule tells us that we're going to multiply the derivative of u by v. So we're going to do 8x to the 7th. So first of all, I should have written that this is the derivative. So y prime is equal to 8x to the 7th times 2 to the x. And then I'm going to add that to the derivative of v times u. So times 2 to the x ln of 2 times x to the 8th. All right, and so you may be wondering about simplifying, and so for here, what I want to make sure that we do for simplifying is that we put all coefficients out front. All right, so here we can't really do anything. We have 8x to the 7th times 2 to the x. We cannot multiply this and make it 16, so we're going to keep that right there. And then we have plus 2 to the x ln of 2 times x to the 8th. Again, there's nothing we can combine here, so this is just my derivative. So that's our first example using the product rule. So we have some other examples using the product rule. So if you turn to your packet, we have these two here. So my first one says the derivative of negative 5x to the 3rd times e to the x. So I have two terms here. So this right here is my u, and this right here is my v, because I have two things. So I'm going to find u is equal to negative 5x to the 3rd, and v is equal to e to the x. U prime, using my power rule, is just negative 15 x squared, and then v prime is e to the x. And then from there, remembering that all we had to do was u prime v plus v prime u. So now we'll just combine them together. So we're going to have negative 15 x squared times e to the x plus negative 5x cubed times e to the x. So what I do want though is I don't like this plus and this negative here, so I'm going to just write negative 15 x to the 2nd e to the x, and then minus 5x to the 3rd e to the x. So this is as much as I need in terms of simplifying, so that is y prime. The only thing to be aware of is if we have a multiple choice question, they may factor out the greatest common factor. So this answer is acceptable, but I want you to recognize if we have a multiple choice question, you may see it simplified like something else. And so the greatest common factor here would be negative 5x squared e to the x, and then in the inside, that would leave us with 3x minus just 3. So 3 minus x. So again, you do not need to do this. This is just, I need you to recognize that these things are equivalent. All right, so we have another example over here. We have the derivative of 3x times the natural log of x. So I have two pieces. This is one piece, and this is another piece. So here's my u, here's my v. So u is equal to 3x, u prime is equal to 3, and v is equal to ln of x. And then using our chart of rules, v prime is equal to 1 over x. And now we just need to multiply u prime by v and then add that to v prime plus u. So we're going to do 3 times ln of x and then plus these two multiplied together, 1 over x times 3x, and that is equal to y prime. So we have 3 ln of x. And then I can simplify this here, and I can just make this plus 3 because the x's cancel out. And so that is equal to y prime. All right, we have two more examples, and then we are done. So our next two examples are the derivative of 4x cubed minus 1 times 10x squared plus 3x plus 5. So again, we have two pieces. So here's my u, and here is my v. So u is equal to 4x cubed minus 1. V is equal to 10x squared plus 3x plus 5. And so u prime equals 12x squared, and v prime is equal to 20x, excuse me, this is bad equal sign, 20x plus 3. And now from here we're just going to multiply. So I'm going to say that the derivative is equal to u prime, so 12x squared times 10x squared plus 3x plus 5, and then plus 20x plus 3 times 4x cubed minus 1. All right, this is my answer. I do not want you to spend any time distributing and foiling this and adding it together. I'm going to keep my answer just like this. All right, we have one last one, and I hope I have enough space for it. Here is u, which is going to be 4x to the 5th. I'm just going to kind of carve out some space. And then, so u prime would need to be 20x to the 4th. And then our v is sine of x. So then v prime is cosine of x. And then all we do is our derivative is going to be equal to 20x to the 4th times sine of x plus 4x to the 5th cosine of x. So there is our answer. We cannot combine like terms or anything, so we're going to keep it just like this. All right, that was the product rule.